Co-plaintiffs Amy and Seth Lolaski are suing her father, Mike Davidson, in the amount of $650 for what they say was substandard plumbing repair work.
All rise. Remain standing and come to order. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Kevin Ross presiding.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated.
All parties have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Deputy Thomas. Amy and Seth Lolaski, you're suing Mike Davidson for $650 based on some plumbing damage you sustained, yes?
Right.
All right, tell me your story. What happened?
Well, Your Honor, my husband and I have just bought a foreclosed house that we decided to be a fixer-upper that we wanted to do ourselves. But the major stuff...
Did you get a good deal?
Yes. The major stuff, such as plumbing, electric, and major construction, we wanted professionals. And on the first floor, I noticed water damage on the wall, and I called a contractor to get an estimate. He came up with $400. I called my father, whom I trust with these things.
This Mr. Davidson is your father?
Yes, he is.
And why did you call your father?
He's been working on stuff around our house my whole life.
How long have you been married to Mr. Lolaski?
A year.
All right. You didn't have a conversation with him?
No, we did. We talked about it.
We did discuss it. I want to save money, of course, but...
He's cheap.
He's cheap?
Yeah.
All right.
That's why he wanted me to come over and fix it, because I do it for free.
What's the relationship between you and your
Not
new...
great.
There is no relationship, Your Honor.
There is no relationship?
Not with him.
It's a little rocky.
A little.
Yeah.
Why do you have a problem with him, sir?
Well, first thing, he's a car salesman. Do I need to say more?
Yes. What's wrong with the car salesman?
Well, I'm always hearing him talking about how he sold the car for twice what it was worth and how he took this customer, and I think that's the same thing he's trying to do here. He's trying to have me pay for damages and repairs that are his responsibility, and I think if he'd sell a few more cars, he wouldn't have to worry about me coming over and fixing stuff for free.
And how do you feel about Mr. Davidson?
He's fair as a father-in-law.
He's
you know,
fair.
He's all right. I mean, we're not friends. We're good friends.
I take it you don't care for him as much either.
No, not at all. I wouldn't say so.
But you are pleased with what he was able to produce in the form of your wife.
That is true. That is correct.
Right?
Very true.
Okay.
Very true.
And is she happy, Dad?
To the best of my knowledge, yes, I guess.
All right. And so does it make you happy that your daughter is happy?
It makes me happy that she's happy, but not with him.
So why are you suing him?
Because what happened was that he came over and said that the amount, $400, was too much, that he'd do it for himself for free, which we thought was a great and fair deal. And so with that, he fixed it. It looked like a professional job. We were very happy with it. A week later,
Did you tip him?
I'm sorry?
Did you tip him?
No. And so with that, I saw that there was still water damage. I have a picture of what happened after he worked on it, and it's also the invoice of what we paid for afterwards. And that picture is a picture of the work that he had done afterwards. That's a week after it. And I actually...
Is this a ceiling that I'm looking at? So you thought that this was fixed...
This was a week after he had fixed it.
Talk to me, Mr. Davidson. What happened here?
Well, originally, when I went over there and took a look at it, the damage on the ceiling was there already. It's the damage on the wall that we're talking about here.
Because you said it was a fixer-upper, right? Because it was
Yes.
a foreclosed home.
And,
All right.
And like I said, you know, she got an estimate from a contractor, and I thought it was way too much for the damages. Obviously, there's a leaky pipe there.
Right.
And so when I took a look upstairs, I actually had to take about a 2x2 area out of the back behind the sink there, and noticed that there was a pipe that was leaking at the joint.
Okay.
And so I went ahead, and I have tools from 30 years of having my own house, and you know, I do fix things every now
What
and
type
then.
of work do you do, sir?
I'm in insurance sales,
All right.
or retired actually.
And so you were more than willing to get out the house?
Yeah, I had the time. I had, you know, I mean, and I want to help my daughter out as much as possible. I love her. I want to make her life as easy as possible. So I did that, and I thought I had repaired it correctly, and went ahead and replaced the drywall. I actually went out and bought the drywall myself.
What about paint? Did you also repaint it?
I also re-sheetrocked it. I mudded it, and then I went ahead and painted it. They were real happy with it. You know, I mean, it was great, and everything looked fine. And then she calls me a week later and says the paint's bubbling.
Coming up on America's Court.
Your feelings were hurt.
Yeah, they were hurt.
So if you hurt his feelings, why then add insult to injury and sue him?
We had to fix the house.
This is America's Court with Judge Ross. We're back with the case of Amy and Seth Lolaski, who are suing her father, Mike Davidson, for what they say was substandard plumbing repair work.
Were you all able to find out what actually happened?
Well, I touched it, and then my hand actually went through the wall, and I saw that the pipe behind it was still leaking. So I called my dad. I told him that. He apologized about it, and he came over, looked at it again, and actually wanted to fix it again. And I talked to my husband. We decided no, and he left all in a huff about it. And
You threw me out of the house.
I did not.
You did throw me out of the house. You told me you didn't want me to do any more because you're afraid I'm going to do more damage to your house that was already damaged to begin with.
Your feelings were hurt.
Yeah, they were hurt.
So if you hurt his feelings, why then add insult to injury and sue him?
We just don't have the money to afford this plumbing job to begin with, but we had to fix the house.
So now you want me to pay for all the damages.
It was on your advice that we decided not to use
So
the
hold
original.
on, whatever happened to thank you for trying to do something to save us some money? It didn't work out, but we appreciate the effort.
Yes, but unfortunately we don't want the house coming down around us as a result of shoddy work either.
The house was almost coming down when you bought it.
You said you bought a fixer-upper,
Correct.
which means you all paid probably substantially less than what you otherwise would have been able to get. So you actually saved money.
But that was all that we could afford. It's not that we had the money to spend.
I understand that, but I don't understand why you would go along with suing your own father. The man
I
who's...
tried
It's not
to do
her,
it.
Your Honor. It's him. It's always been him.
Oh, no, I'm real clear. The complaint says Mr. and Mrs.
Well, I think he put her up to it. I don't think she
Is
was.
that true?
No, it was a joint decision. We tried to do this outside of court. We tried to talk about it, reason, but with money that we just can't not have.
Well, what would you think is reasonable? Because you paid $650. Initially, the estimate was how much?
400.
It was $400, right?
Correct.
You didn't have to pay that. But for your father, you would have paid $400 anyway. Correct?
Correct.
Why not sue him for the difference? And say, Dad, could you help us out with $250 because we're going to have to come out of pocket $400 anyway?
Well, we felt as a result of his actions he should pay.
Had he not done anything, how much would you have had to have paid?
400.
So why is he having to pay for everything when you were going to have to come out of pocket? Because you weren't going to stay in the house with a leaky pipe. You were going to find the money. Yes?
Yes.
All right, so based on the evidence and the testimony before this court, the gavel is going to come down in favor of the defendant. I don't have an agreement here. I don't have any sort of contractual obligation. I don't have any sort of, if you pay me this, I will do this. There's no consideration on the part of Dad. Dad's doing this out of the kindness and goodness of his heart. You all said you don't have any money, but I guarantee you, had Dad not been there,